So moving on a little bit to the why is it the case that we need to pre-register? There are several distinct goals that explain why we might want to engage in this practice. So building on what Samin was talking about before, one of our main priorities for doing this practice is that we want to constrain researcher flexibility and avoid overfitting to our data. So if we make decisions about how we're going to analyze the data based on the data that we've collected, we run the risk of making our conclusions too specific to that particular sample or that particular study. So by setting our decisions ahead of time, we can reduce the possibility of strategically using flexibility to do things like get a statistically significant result. Pre-registration can also increase transparency and rigor, and I gather that that is a really central and important value for folks in the government, probably always, but maybe especially now. There's been an enhanced focus on increasing the transparency of practices. And if we have transparency in our studies, that can help us to make the case that our conclusions are more sound, potentially. Finally, pre-registration can also help us to falsify and test theories. So if you are working in that mode where you have a specific theoretically derived hypothesis, there's a chance with pre-registration to prove yourself wrong. Right? If we don't set those conditions ahead of time for how we plan to do the study and how we plan to interpret the results in terms of how they come out, we lose that chance to falsify. It becomes impossible to falsify a particular conclusion because we can change the prediction, we can change the way that we analyze the data in such a way that almost any result would support our hypothesis. Okay? So these goals would drive our practices. So we're going to have different focuses on different features of pre-registration depending on which one of these goals that you have.